Hello, hello, this is JilliBling, JilliBling.com, and I have a flashback from 10, 15 years ago. Does this look familiar? Other than stuff your significant other or dad used to use. Shaving cream? You know where I'm going with this? I'm not going to say anything yet. Okay, now look at this project. This is called a Waterfall card. And I'm going to make sure you could see it the best angle. Look at that. This right here is a process I'll show you in just a minute. It's using shaving cream. A little bit of stamping on here, a nice little pull. We'll use a punch to make the fancy end. This first one is a little tough. The rest of them go in just fine. So, ready to give it a try? We'll do one just about like this. So this is mixing old with new. Some of these colors are old papers that I was just using up because I already had them pre-cut for this project. And brads, you can, I think we could get metallic brads currently. And if you want them colored, you could dip them, pretend like this is tweezers, take your brad, dip it in craft ink, or if you have colored embossing powder, dip it into Versamark, put it into the embossing powder, and you could enamel your little brads. But I'm using some old ones, and I have lots of old brads for you to choose from, but you could very easily do this with all new product. And then on the back, more shaving cream, and so glad to have you in my life. And then I put a few leaves over it. Okay, let's get started. Shaving cream, these are the other pieces I made, and they're strangely very smoothed and, what does this say? It's soothing aloe, but it has skin conditioners on it, but when you fill the paper, it's strangely smooth, and it leaves a little residue on your finger like lotion. Anyhow, I'll show you about that. This paper is what I would use to stamp the leaf on, but because I still had some shaving cream left in my little tin, I thought I'd make some more. But I'll show you about that. So, because this is on top, let's go through shaving cream. Shaving cream, generally when you get it now, it comes in a gel. The gel won't work because the gel won't hold the ink. So you have to get shaving cream, rich and thick. Barbasol sells the old-fashioned white whipped cream looking shaving cream, and that's what we need. Okay, we'll use that in a minute. This project is using mostly the stamps that gather together, so we'll use that. I have some old stamp sets that would also be perfect for this project. These words are really nice on here, and these will be in, this is a traveling box, so these will be in there, and you could pull them off of the polymer stamp and use it, put it on the block if you like any of these. But today I'll be using mostly gather together. Any occasion is good. It doesn't have to be fall. Okay. And I talked about using the punch. The punch makes the pull cute. We'll be using the acorns, which are in the Holiday Mini catalog. In the project box, I'll have a little template, and that's how you score this piece right here at 2, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 3/4, and we'll do that in just a minute. Boy, I'm thinking this video might go a little long. Okay, we'll use this. So, for pieces, when you get the traveling box, it will be this box, and this box. So you take one of these. I have a pile set off to the side, but I thought I'd go through it with you. In here, one of each size. The designer paper, there's a few different patterns. This one is more just foliage going up and down, and this one is random leaves and acorns. There's other side too, if you want to try that. White paper for the back. Then in here, it will tell you how many to take of each of them. 4 per card. That's for this panel right here. Okay, those are papers. So here are papers. So let's get started, I guess. I'll start out by scoring this using the template. My score tool, and I have a score and a cutter, and far too many times I've mixed them up. So this one I wrote on it which is for scoring. This one says ouch. I don't want to use that. I have a hard time remembering. I mess up all the time. Okay, let's see, can you see it down here? Yeah. Okay, so score this piece at 2, and I'm lining this up with the ruler down here on the bottom. Next is 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 4 1/4. Okay, done with that. So it should go, you could use your bone folder to confirm the folds. So we're having wildfires here. One more. And power just went out again. So the generator is on. It's over there humming away. So this piece here is the long flat piece. When you look at this, so there's all the little folds. This piece here, I'm going to use the punch. I always do my punches upside down, just so I can see the paper going in. I know the paper's all the way to the back part of the punch. Okay, done with the punch. So on here I have wishing you well. I'll do this one real similar just because there's not that many words. Maybe I'll do, well, see, I don't know that the So Glad You're in My Life will fit. Oh, it's close. I'll try that just to make it a little bit different. So I'll do that in espresso. So Glad You're in My Life. Here's a few blocks. So because this is narrow and flexible, I'm going to put it down on here, stamp side down, put it on like that. Now I know it's straight. I did another stamp and it was kind of curved, and that's because I didn't do that little technique there. Okay, espresso ink. I'll put it maybe in the middle. Okay, I'll put it down low. I'm trying to do something a little bit different. That's really tight on that 2-inch piece of paper. Okay, so done with that. So this can go away. And I'll pull out the big leaf. Ooh, nice and sticky. And this I'll stamp in Sahara Sand. I don't know if you could tell, but I didn't think about the words until the card was fully assembled, and I kind of didn't get a good image here. I tried it a second time, which made it a little better, but it's best to stamp this pull piece first. Leaves. And they're just very faint. So if you wanted to write a greeting, you could write it on the back, or you could write it on here. Okay, that's good. Oh, and I was going to do some on the back. Okay, I'll leave this kind of out. Oh, and I'll need to do the big shaving cream paper stamped with espresso in this one. Okay, so with that said, I'll clean it just 'cause. Okay, so we have this piece. So next is, let's work on the base paper and the layers. So this project I used primarily liquid glue, and what's good about that is this card is really secure and strong, like strangely strong. And I kind of like it, but I don't know, is it just my imagination or will it be different if I use regular adhesive? So on this one, it's with glue. On this next one, I'm going to try the adhesive and see what the difference is. I mean, can you tell? It's strong. Okay, so this piece here, I'm looking at my little piles of paper, is for that there. I can stick those together. So if you have some cute springtime girly pink and yellow papers, you can do this as a birthday invite. The top one can say, "You're invited," and then maybe if you have an alphabet set, you could put somebody's name, and then you could put the date and the time for their little party. Or if you're having a Halloween party coming up, nobody's having parties these days. So say next year you're preparing for a Halloween party. You could put the date and the time and tell them to bring a spooky gift. Okay, so we have these two pieces. And I'm not going to stick this down yet because eventually this will go over the top. This will go underneath, which is what creates the pull. So if I stuck it down, that wouldn't act as a little holding mechanism. I'll show you what that means in just a minute. Okay, so back to all of these papers. Excluding the white, I think I could stick all these little ones together. So because the power went out, the generator is on, that means that the darling dog needs to stay inside because the invisible fence is not working, which means he could go right up to it rather than staying those 10 feet away, and he could get out. And last thing I want to do is run through town looking for a dog with this bad air quality. Oh my gosh. Oh, I could tell he just laid down. He took a big sigh. I think he's going to nap. We'll see how long that lasts. He's a crazy boy. He's ready to be in the wilderness. And he doesn't seem to care that it's smoky. I won't go out there. Oop, am I short one of these? It's too bad. I mean, it makes me feel sick. How could I be short one? Okay, need to get another one. So this project, this traveling box, I counted out enough for exactly 26 cards. So when you're doing this box, if something happens to a piece, let me know because I'll need to replace it, otherwise there won't be enough pieces. Okay, so I have all these panels done. These are going to go on top, so let's just start stamping these. So this one I have Gather Together, May the Season Bring You Smiles and Love That Will Last All Year, and Season of Things. So I'm going to try to change them up a little bit this time. What colors? I have all these beautiful colors here. So I did that one Gather Together. This time I think I'll do the top one in Cajun. Trying to make it different. And I'll do it Season of Things. Eventually I'll do all of these. Okay, so Season of Thanks in Cajun Craze. That's okay. I did use my little nail file trick on this polymer set because the leaves, I wasn't getting a good image. Okay, that worked out fine. So next I want another bold, strong color. I know espresso is good. I'm trying to do this one different. How about Mossy Meadow? I did it here. What's another color? Should I try Cinnamon? Let me see how dark this will come out. Oh, that's good. That's dark enough. It's going with the right colors. Okay, and I want to try maybe some mint. I could do all these little dots. I do really like that wheat thing. I did it in sand last time. I don't know if that would look good. I think maybe just these little dots in mint. Okay, so here is mint. Let me see what this looks like first. I think I like them a bit lighter. So I'm doing this, no, I messed that one up. I'm doing it in a stamp off and then dots. That's good. Just a little bit of that. So then to gather together, let me see about the wheat. That's still good. Okay, so the 4 panels, top, middle, bottom, and then I should put one underneath these bow, under my shaving cream leaf. Maybe I'll put this one. So this one I'm going to put those other words on it. Kind of the long verse, and I'll do this one in espresso. That's nice. Okay. Get these put away. I'll do something on the back. I'm not sure what should go on the back yet. Could put pumpkins on there. The pumpkins are in the other project box, but I'll get those back in this kit eventually here. Those would be cute, a whole card of pumpkins. Okay, so what order do you want your little panels in? This one I had it going from deepest to in cool color to warmer. So let me change it up. Top. Okay. So just the plain words I'm going to put on the middle. All the dots are going to go underneath. Oh, you know what would be good? Hold on. Is what if I try putting the big leaf here at the top? Can I lift this off? Ooh, come on. Okay. Well, there's not going to be words right on the top then, but that's okay. That leaf, that big leaf on top will be there, shining bright, looking pretty. So I don't want it to be matchy-matchy, so that one will go there. The ink, the word ink color with the background. Boy, I'm having a hard time with this adhesive. Okay, so there's all those pieces. Good. And they're going to go on here. And just as a little holding spot, I'll put these on in a minute. I'm just going to set them on here. But I do have a little bit of help and ideas for placing them. But at least this is going to hold them in place for just a minute while we build the bottom of the card. Okay, so that's pretty much done. These lovely papers we're not going to use on this one because I want to show you how to do shaving cream. So for all these papers here, this will go on top of this one. Oh, it's hard to cover up that. Okay, so that's top layer, color layer. I'll do one more because I have to put the brads in. And I don't want the backs of the brads to show. Okay, so layer 1, 2, 3. Now, let's put down this band. And I could see the top, I could see the bottom of that. I want the top a little bit centered, the bottom, these two amounts equal, these two amounts equal. So that's going to, I'm just putting just a little bit of adhesive to hold it. It will go right about here. Okay, pull that part out. So, or you could just compare it to the sample. Yeah, they're pretty equal. This one's a little bit lower, but that's okay. So they're just sitting there loosely right now. I guess I could have put them down a little bit more, but you want adhesive just on the ends. So now I'm going to put some brads in because that was crooked. Because you need something strong to hold the mechanism. If you just use adhesive, when you pull the waterfall card, a lot of pressure goes on these points and it's just going to pop up and kind of fall apart. Can't have that. So, like I said, I was mixing old with new. Imagine having your choice of all this. Woohoo! That one I did kind of golden color. The copper somewhat matches the acorn. What else? Oh, in here I have some, well, needless to say, there's all kinds of fancy ones in here. And you'll need 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so to put the brads in, my pokey pad and pokey are out somewhere in a traveling box. So we're going to do this a little different. See where the hole is? I'm going to put this over the top. This is being creative. And I know I want 2 brads. Right there and right here. And I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be perfect. See those 2 right here? And I just need something for my little pokey to have room to make a nice place for the brad to go through. And don't put them too close to the edge because we don't want the paper to rip. And also, when you put the back on, you want to cover it up. If it's close to the edge, chances of covering it up are not so good. Okay, so underneath this band, I put just a little bit of adhesive to hold it in place while I put the brads through. You could put a little bit more, but certainly not a lot. And you want the middle of it open for the mechanism, the pull. Okay, so I got the brads in. Now, when you go to open the little feet, you could use a side of pokey, because once you have this jam up under your fingernail, you're not happy. And then if you can, turn the brad feet so that they won't be anywhere close to the edge, if possible. And when I open these up, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Okay. Now use your bone folder to make them flat. If they're flat, you have a good chance of thoroughly hiding them underneath your paper layer. Okay, so I have them open, and now I'm going to make them really flat. Okay, so remember how I said to try to have them as far away from the edge of the paper as you can? That's because when this paper goes on here, look how nicely it covers them. So this paper can go on the back. I'm not going to put the white paper on the back until I stamp it, just in case I need to flip it over. I know you wouldn't make a mistake, but I make mistakes all the time. Okay, so here's the back, and it's ready for the white paper, and here is the front. Okay, so this piece is going to set, let me show you up close. This piece is going to slide right into here, just like that. So what holds all this down? That is right here, we're going to put some adhesive. So I will put 2 strips in the middle. I'm not going all the way across, just where this band will be placed. And looking at the sample, the band, this part right here, gets put on there. So I'm going to put that across there because this needs to hold really good. You know, this might be a good place to use liquid glue. I have it pretty loaded up with adhesive. I'll put a little bit extra right here. Maybe on the sides. Because if this part comes off, well, it's going to be embarrassing. Okay, so you know how I put these little panels on just loosely. I'm going to lift that one off. Okay, lift some of them off. And let me see if you can see this. This piece right down here, I want it right in the middle at the bottom of the band. Without any adhesive or glue going on to this other piece. So, can you see it's right here in the middle? And that's sticking down good. Okay. So, to stick these pieces down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, good, good. Oh, and make sure that it's square up here at the top before it gets too stuck. Okay, so this one is going to be the bottom one, which will fit right here. So you could put, let's put adhesive on the back of the blue panel. And when you place this panel, let the crease, the score line, let it show a bit. I'll hold this up close, just a minute. Okay, so I put that on, and right here I could see the fold line. See how there's this ridge? I'm trying to let that remain showing, just because when you pull this, if I had covered it up, the movement would not be as smooth. Next is I'm going to put adhesive right here only, and again, for placement, I'll put it right here, letting that little ridge remain. I'm getting it right in line with the panel below it. Okay, and stick that on good and strong. Then repeat for this next panel. Okay, and then once again for the last panel. And on the last panel, you can have it real close to the top, but don't let it go over. Otherwise, when those little panels are flipping, it's going to get held up on this back piece. I'll show you what I mean here in just a minute. Okay, so here it is. And if I put it really close, see how there is just a little bit of this mustard color showing? That's good. If it was too far over, when I went to do the pull, it would hang up. Ooh, but since I have this, let me show you how it works. Aren't you impressed? I'm impressed. Okay, so we could do either the leaf and the shaving cream, or let's do the pull part. That is easy. Another basket. You could use any of the ribbons you like, and there's just enough acorns in here, so each card will have one. So do an acorn, do some linen thread, and I really like this new faux suede trim. It's an espresso color. And what else? How about some of this one, because it matches. So to do the pull, You don't need too much. So I'm just folding it over. That's how big I want the pull to be. This piece I wanted, my second piece, about the same. Done with those. And the linen thread, I'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so these here, kind of put them together. If you want, put a little adhesive right where the bend will be. There's just, let me get this in the right light. Just a little 1/4 of an inch of adhesive. That's going to hold this thinner ribbon. It'll hold it in place. And I'll put those through here. There's, oh, let me flip it over. And it's just going to fold over, and then we'll use the linen thread to secure it. You know what? I think I'm going to put a little bit. Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this. It sticks good, but it's giving me a headache. Okay. So now the linen thread, take, what is that, 5-6 inches? And I'm going to wrap it around a few times and tie it. This is where you could use an extra hand. Okay, so I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Because that's going to keep this ribbon in place. So now I have just one knot there, and I wrapped it around 2 times. So now I'll take my acorn and attach that. And I'll do 2 knots. 1 knot wouldn't hold it. 1 knot just says, okay, that's where you go. 2nd knot says, you're not going anywhere. Okay, then I'll trim the ribbon ends. Because I want them all to be at an angle. And then I'll kind of separate them just so you could see, yep, there's 4 matchy beautiful pieces. Okay, so, hey, the card is getting there. So you ready for shaving cream? Then we have to do the back. Let's do shaving cream. Clear the way. So shaving cream, use a tin. I get disposable ones, and there's a reason for that. The first time I saw this, I loved it, and I knew that I had a few re-inkers, so I tried it, and I put the pan through the dishwasher, and I made cornbread a few days later. Even though the pan went through the dishwasher, the cornbread tastes like shaving cream. Not good. Disposable pans are the way to go. Okay, here we are, shaving cream. Get it bubbly and shook up, and put just a little bit in here. Ooh. It doesn't take much. And make it a little bit flat, because all we're going to be doing is, oop, where's my paper for my, no, I didn't, hold on. So I'm getting the little white paper. This is for the leaves. Okay, so now that's flat. Here are 4 different colors of re-inkers. There is Cajun, Saffron, Pumpkin, Mint, and Mossy. And on this card, I used Cajun, Saffron, and Mint. So how about this one I do I'm trying to do it different. I'll do a pumpkin, mint, and mossy. So you could see my little blob, right? I'm going to take the re-inker and put in 2 drops. 1, 2. Mint, I'll do 2 drops. And pumpkin, I'll do 2 drops. And the more ink you put in, the deeper the color will be, but then it also will get muddy. And I'll show you what that means in a minute. So I have my drops in there. Yummo. And you just give it a little swirl. And keep in mind the shaving cream underneath here is cleaned in white. And I want it just to have a little bit of a swirl. If I mix it all up, it will be a blob of brown. So now I'll take my paper, put that right into here, and what's happening is the paper is hitting the re-inker, and that's what's creating the color on the paper. If at all possible, try not to get shaving cream on the back of your paper. Otherwise, the whatever product they have to moisturize, it doesn't let the your adhesive stick to it. Okay, so here it is. And I'm going to use some more of this. And have a paper separate from what you're working on. Put it down on there. On the side, wipe that off, and remove the extra shaving cream. Are you impressed? I know that you're going, oh my gosh, I have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to set this off to dry. It won't take long, but right now it's really wet. Oh, look at all the stuff I have on the back. Not good. Very cool. Okay, so there's one. So now I'm going to get my base paper. And I want to put a little bit of color in that. So before I do that, let me show you something. So the first dip is really strong in light and dark colors. The second dip, see this leaf down here? I don't want to drop it in here. That's a little bit softer and more subtle. And the third dip is much softer and much more subtle. So this would be nice. Oh, what's on the back of the card? I think that's probably the 4th dip. So when it's soft, that means you could write over it, so this would be good for the back. So looking at that, it's a little bit of a mess. Over here, those colors are really blended. I don't want to use that. So from underneath here, I'm going to try to pick up some of the shaving cream with no ink on it, so I can make it a little bit smoother. A little bit more white rather than so deep and heavy in color. And here we go. Yep, there is just a little, but there's a way to make this work. Oh, I missed right there. Yeah, I'm getting dirty. And I do have gloves. I probably should have put on those gloves. So I need a little bit more right here and a little bit over there. Okay, so all this shaving cream is going to go back into here, and then it's going to get washed down the sink. So that's why we have a different paper. This is going to get messy. Isn't that fun? Imagine doing this in blues and maybe pinks or yellows for an ocean scene. Okay, so I'm going to take this to the sink and it will just easily wash down the drain. Isn't that cool? Okay, this goes off to the side because I'm messy. And if I didn't have the video going, I would run over to the sink and wash up. But the video is going. Baby wipes to the rescue. Ew, it's all under my fingernails. Okay. Back to the clean paper. Okay, so where were we? These I'll put off to the side. This is definitely still damp. That's damp. Okay. That's pretty much all we have to do. Well, I'll give it a try. This one we did first, so I will stamp it in, I think. This one I did in espresso. That showed up really well. I think if I did it in a lighter color, it wouldn't show up as well. So, espresso it is. And I wish that I did this first and I had a little bit of time to let it dry. If you do it too soon, the ink will kind of smear. So, a little bit of a gamble. Okay, keep your fingers crossed. Ooh, look at that. And there is a die to cut this out, but it leaves too much of a border. So, yeah, do a little fussy cutting. And since I have this out, I'm going to trying to let that dry a bit. I'm going to stamp on here. It goes this direction. And the words, I think I saved some bold words. Oh, here. I think it's something like wishing you well. But I like it that these words are a little bit bolder than these tiny little ones that get lost in this busy pattern. Trying to figure out where can I see the words through the leaf. So again, I'll do that in espresso. I don't want it to be lost. Remember which direction the card is going. Ooh, that came out nice. So this time, last time I did the words on the back in sand. This time I'm going to do them in maybe mint. Oh, those show up fine. That makes it really soft. But you could still write over it. It's not too dark. It's a little busy and crazy, but somehow I kind of like it. Okay. Done, done, done. So, how did I do here? Yeah, there is a little bit of shaving cream. Oop. You know what? Let me try using this one, because this stick is a little bit stronger than our old Stickum. You know what? This is working fine. So, good thing. Stamp and seal. See how it's lifting off wherever the shaving cream it was? It's just lifting off of there, so use liquid glue. Okay, so that's going to go on the back here. That is a little crazy, but I kind of like it. Okay, back is done. Front is almost done. I don't know why I get such a kick out of that. Waterfall card. This is learn 2 things in one video. Learn about shaving cream, learn about waterfall card. Okay, so this is dry now. I would have rather stamped it now, but it seemed to work out just fine. And I'm trimming a little bit close to the line just because it's a bit busy. If I left too much of a shaving cream border on it, it gets confusing. Yeah, I can feel the moisture in the paper. Okay, so the whole West Coast seems like it's on fire. The smoke is bad. We right now are at level 1, but the winds kind of changed a little bit overnight. And thank you all for your wishes of well, and so many people opening their home. Thank you, thank you. So we did do a little bit of preliminary packing because that's what level 1 means. Level 2 means get it in your car and be ready. Level 3 means just go, get out of here. And it's just scary. It's hard to sleep at night because you don't know what's happening overnight unless you're watching TV. Watching TV, that we're either hearing about Corona or who's at level 3. It's just, it's hard. And it's so smoky out there. To go outside and breathe, I don't think it's good for anyone. So you have to stay inside the house, cooped up. For a few days there it was warm. And then we've been having power outages. And the first one was a transformer that blew by Mama's house. And so it went out about 8, 9 o'clock at night. And then it came on the next morning. They wanted to wait until the winds died down because it was too windy. And they wanted to get the crew out there to replace the transformer. And as soon as they did that, I think it was like 8:20. So I'm assuming it took them like 20 minutes to get it done. I don't know. The power was back up. Woohoo, that's great. And then they said the next day, well, we're going to turn the power off just for safety reasons. And I know a lot of people, they might get frustrated, but we understand after the PG&E incident. You have to do what you have to do. Oh, look at that. I kind of wish I put more of the mint in it, but that's okay. So when I place this on here, it cannot go over this blue panel because that would mess with the movement of the card. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back of the leaf. Well, there's a few pieces sticking over. So I will do it on the top. Okay, this is like a game, trying to remember which pieces stick over and which don't. I'll put it mostly on the middle. If needed, I'll put a little bit of liquid glue under the pieces that are still not attached. Okay, you really can't see too much of the white panel and those dots, which is okay. Well, that's stuck down pretty good. Okay, you ready to see the final card? Woohoo! This is holding on just fine. Okay, so the difference in, remember how I was saying that this card is so thick and sturdy? It is a little bit different. This one has a little bit of bend. This one has no bend at all. So, no bend at all is liquid glue only. A little bit of bend is adhesive. Isn't that cute? I know the video went long. I hope it was worth it. In the comments, tell me, do you like the leaf on the top or on the bottom? They're so pretty. Okay, well, I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And it should be the red button in the upper right corner. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.